reduce the speed limit here in Simonstown. Why? Because we're finding more and more of the wild baboons are coming down from the mountains on the right. Why are they coming down? Because instead of foraging for insects the whole day, that doesn't taste nice, they get sand in the mouth, they can come down to Simonstown, look for an open window and climb through. There's a kitchen full of Woolworths food. And we stopped here a week ago, we saw a little baboon climb in. We waited 2 minutes, it came out with a packet of Lay's chips and a Coke Zero. To 1901, that's when the Queen Victoria was reigning. See all this brookie lace, that's a Victorian indication of Victorian style. Now King George V, when he, on the left hand side is Jubilee Square, these palm trees were planted when King George V in 1935, it was his 25th year to reign as king. However, if you hear someone speaks about architecture that is Georgian architecture, we always refer to King George III. That is Georgian architecture. And he was reigning 1700s. Before I forget, there was a question, why do we call Cape Town the mother city? Everyone thinks it's because it's the oldest city, but it's actually, everyone is so relaxed in Cape Town. We joke at ourselves, we say it takes 9 months for anything to happen in Cape Town. That's why we call it the mother city. Okay folks, the first question to the group. You all know what a polar bear looks like, right? That big white bear. You all know what a penguin looks like. Some are big, some are small, some are lean, some are larger. But a penguin has lost the ability to fly 30 million years ago. So my question for point for your country. In nature, why will a polar bear never eat a penguin? Sir there with a blue top. What, yeah, what country?
Scotland.
Scotland.
Because polar bears are in the Arctic and penguins aren't.
Okay, that was close, guys. Sorry, what country are you from? Sweden. Sweden, Scotland just beat you there with a split second. Hand went up. So it was very close, but Scotland gave me the correct answer. Scotland said to me, Charles, in nature a polar bear will never meet a penguin. And that reason for that, folks, is because polar bears live in the North Pole and all the penguins live in not the South Pole, Southern Hemisphere. Remember Argentina, New Zealand, Australia, Cape Town? We have small penguins because it's quite warm here. Technically, the Galapagos penguins lives slightly in the northern hemisphere, but this is not a technical bus. This is a fun bus. So Scotland, well done. That lives in Africa, and it's not, the answer is not a human. What animal that lives in Africa is responsible for the most human deaths every year? And your country, ma'am? USA. And what country are you, sir? Hong Kong. Okay, that was close, but USA's hand went up first, and USA said mosquito, which is correct. And folks, if there's any country that tells me a mosquito is not an animal, I'm going to deduct a point from your country, because a mosquito is an insect which is part of the animal kingdom. Mosquito is an animal. So it's a female mosquito that has to bite you, and she has to be affected with malaria. So 600,000 people on average are killed by malaria. And you know, it's actually the mosquito injects the plasmodium parasite in your body, and it's actually that parasite that eventually kills you. Now that parasite, by the way, is also an animal. Okay folks, that was a draw between South Africa and Sweden. Both of them hand went up, and both of them said the hippopotamus. 3,000 people a year are killed by hippos. Why? They don't want to eat us. They are vegetarians, but they are territorial. So we go to the river. Okay folks, keep looking on your left hand side. You see all the boats coming in? This is now the second week they've been catching snook. It's a very rare fish. It's about a meter long. Looks like a barracuda. It's a predatory fish. You may see some here. Okay, they're all waiting for the boats. You'll see later today when we go to Cape Point, you'll see all the little white seahorses on the road, on the ocean. That is the fishing boats returning. It's a lovely fish to put over the coals to barbecue. Okay folks, so the hippos are territorial. We go to the river to get water. They say this is my river, and they kill us. 3,000 people a year. What animal is number 3? Mosquito 1, not the crocodile. What country?
UK.
UK? What are you saying?
Alligator.
Not the alligator. South Africa. Not the buffalo, but it's one of the big 5. So there's 4 left. Yes, ma'am, I see a hand go up. Sorry? Scotland? Elephant is correct. We have new leaders, Scotland. Okay. Folks, we just passed a house there. If you didn't see it, don't worry. But there's a beautiful swimming pool there in front of the house. Now, about 2 weeks ago, it's an Airbnb. The person that was renting there woke up early in the morning. There was a loud noise outside. He thought someone was breaking in. He took out his baseball bat, and when he opened the curtains, he saw the funniest thing. There were 5 baboons jumping into his swimming pool and having the time of their life. And even me, I have witnessed it in the winter at the hot water springs. I have seen 10 baboons jump 5 o'clock in the morning before the humans woke up. They were enjoying it. It was fun, very funny. Then on the left hand side, if you remember this bay, folks, if you had Netflix, when you get back home, you can write it down to remember it. It's called My Octopus Teacher. Some of you have seen it, I can see. It's brilliant. It was filmed here on the left, on your left hand side. This man who lives in one of these houses, he goes to snorkel and he becomes friends with a little octopus. He won an Oscar for it. It's amazing. Okay folks, next question. Now why? It's because it's our own fault. We misread their body language. For example, if you are driving a car at Kruger National Park and you see an approaching elephant on your right and a water roll on the left, what do? We block the pathway. We park the car between the water roll and the elephant. And elephants do not like detour. They like straight lines. So the first photograph we take, National Geographic front page. The second one, where the car is upside down. Okay, so keep that in mind, folks. And when the elephants flap their ears, they're very angry. Get out of there. If there are little ones, babies, get out of there. Folks, look on your left hand side at 10 o'clock. Can you all see that piece of land, high piece of land, protruding into the ocean? It's now at 11 o'clock. That is stop number 2. The highest point, there's a lighthouse up there. Will give you beautiful views. It doesn't have to be salt water, it can be fresh water. But if you have heard of Cape Cod, Cape Canaveral, Cape Point, Cape of Good Hope, these are all geographically what it looks like. Okay folks, I am seriously thinking of selling my house in Cape Town and buying a house down here. I'm going to point out, if you keep looking to your left as we go around the corner ahead of us, why do I want to move here? Because there are no roads going to the houses. So if you are in trouble with a revenue service inspector, you buy a house here. If you look down to the left, there's no ways. The inspectors will take all the steps down to those houses. That is called Smithwickles Bay. There's about 20 houses there on your left.